What do you do when it's the middle of March and 2 days of warm weather and rain have melted all the snow? Well, you go scouting, of course. And that's exactly what me and Josh did this past Saturday on what ended up being one of the most snowing and blowing days of the month so far. So come along with us and let's go for a walk in the woods. Welcome back to Big Buck Shuck, where we're helping you become a better and more successful deer hunter. Like I said, guys, the other day we went for a walk through the woods. We put on about 4 miles on a big public piece. There's a real large piece of state land, and basically right in the center of Michigan, and it's about 65,000 acres. We went walking through a spot where we thought it was a marsh, and it ended up being some like peat moss, boggy style open area with, I don't even know what they're called. I call it sagebrush. It's just the little shrubs, you know, they're waist high. And but we checked out the fingers surrounding that and a couple of small islands out in that, and we found a lot of deer sign, found a lot of tracks and trails and deer shit, and a couple stands, couple cameras. But we figured, what the hell, why not? We'll go check it out. We were checking to see what kind of deer was it held. There was a lot of deer sign there, but not as much buck sign as we would have liked to have seen. We found quite a few rubs and stuff. It was still nice to get out in the woods and get some fresh air and get back out there and try to find out where we're going to be setting up for this fall. And one thing I wanted you guys to think about, I know some of these scouting videos can be kind of boring, at least they are when I rewatch them, but if you guys can pick up on the little things like where we're concentrating on our efforts on scouting, the areas that we go, it's usually around water of some sort, or points or islands, places where a lot of other hunters won't go. So I know it's boring, it can be long-winded, but try to pick up on where we're focusing and how we're scouting, and you know, the areas that we're looking at, and also listen for the little things that we'll say. I don't even notice it while we're going out there, but when I rewatch the videos, I always pick up little things that me or Josh or whoever's with me will say, and it makes a lot of sense, at least, you know, whether it's for the area or for deer in general. So I know it's long-winded, I know it can be kind of boring to watch all these scouting videos, but try to watch through the whole thing just so you guys can maybe pick up on something that you wouldn't have normally thought about, something that you might look at it a different way, hearing it from one of us. So I hope something that we say or a place that we go and look at helps you out in some way, and whether it's on your next scouting mission or for a hunt coming up this fall. We also chatted about several different issues on the ride home that have to do with the deer hunting community. So make sure you guys watch through till the end. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of those issues. What are your thoughts on it, your ideas? Let me know. And as always, I'd like to thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe, share with your friends. And with that, let's hit the woods.
I don't know about you, but most of the time when I'm like where I've seen deer shit is in bedding or food. I mean,
yeah, right in between.
You know, I don't really see a lot of it like concentrated just in open hardwoods unless there's a ton of acorns, you know.
Right. No, it means they're spending time there.
Right. So,
like you said, they might be just browsing through here.
Yeah, and I mean the amount of trails and shit, it's got to be either browse. I don't know. It just seems too open to be bedding, but very well could be, I guess. See, like this right here. I mean, this is, there's 5 runways, 6 really, coming together in this one spot. And like,
Now that you're around, you can hunt.
right. That big birch right there. Oh, I know. There's a ton. Yeah, this is definitely looking more like bedding.
Yeah, it's gonna get wet. I hate when it snows. I can't see where I'm trying to go.
I know it. I just hope it's frozen all the way like this.
Well, we can always come back.
Yeah. I almost lost her.
Another
Where?
one right there.
Yep.
Another one right there.
So there's probably a bunch of does.
Looks like it, yeah.
I wonder what's under that tree there.
Oh, let me throw a pin down here real quick. Just cause it's the first bedding we've seen.
Josh and I are out here on one of the coldest, windiest, nastiest days of March so far, trying to find some big buck sign. So far we've found a couple rubs, a couple stands, a camera, but it kind of feels like the Alaskan tundra out here.
Oh, fucking bullshit. The shit you go through to try to find a deer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, but I did see on the map, there's a giant trail it looks like runs north and south up here on this high ground.
Let's check it out. Pray we don't get wet. These trails are definitely wide enough that if anything with a decent rack would be able to make it through.
These are them spots where you come stick a camera.
Right. See if it's even worth it.
I don't know how you couldn't get a nice buck on camera out here, but I don't. Dude, this ain't a ton of buck signs.
No, but you know, they might. Sometimes they might not lead it. You know, that buck Tommy killed. There wasn't a single rub or nothing on that whole. Well, in that whole area that we scouted and looked around. I mean, he was just bedding on one of the points and come out of that marsh. There's some old rubs in here. The other good thing is I haven't seen a single sign of people.
No.
It's funny because once we got out of them woods, that's the last sign of people that we saw.
It's just trail crisscross everywhere.
Yeah.
Tighten that up a little bit recently.
Yeah, that's an old historical rub too. Something was messing with it. Right on the edge of this little clump of trees out. Yeah. There's a runway. That one looks like it's been there a while.
Yeah. I might have put in some work getting that motherfucker back there.
Yeah.
Just don't look that fresh.
Well, we just got back to the big little island of trees out here in the big marsh. Found an old tripod. How's the view?
I mean, I see why it's here.
Well, it's probably just a rifle guy, you know. I wouldn't rule it out for bow season over it. You never know. They might have put it up and it hasn't been hunted in 10 years, you know. I wouldn't be coming back out to get it.
No.
Well, make our way over to that point.
Yeah.
See what that looks like. Yeah, very well could be off the private. But honestly, as far out as we are, I haven't seen anything that would make me want to come back here anyway.
No.
A couple small rubs and stuff, but
Fuck no. I mean, you never know what you might see out there with a rifle, but
right. Yeah, it was definitely burned.
I would also be willing to bet at some point them beavers had that like really dammed up.
Yeah,
And a lot of this was water.
super wet, yeah. Well, if anything, it's a pretty cool view out here. So we checked that group of trees. Now we're going over here to check out this finger that comes out into this. That point right there. And back up to the main woods.
Chest height.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Here, out here.
Well, I'm willing to bet that they're bedding in, you know, this red brush tag alder stuff. And then a lot of it probably,
Early season thing.
yeah, and I mean, a lot of it probably depends on the surrounding crops and acorns, and because the thing I can see is that it's so open, but it's still thick once they lay down. So I mean, they could still see or smell something from far away.
There's a lot of little knolls.
Yeah, you'd never know if one was laying around here.
No, not unless it jumped up.
Or like I said, right here, Josh, all these tips of this little plant or this little tree has been nipped off. So they're probably in here browsing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it.
They're in here for some reason. There's a ton of trails.
Well, and in the fall, I would imagine this is all real bushy with leaves.
Yeah, it'd be a lot thicker like them.
They're a lot thicker, yeah. I bet you we get up in this point, we'll probably start seeing something.
It looks like it gets thicker.
Looks like there's water on the back side of it.
Backside of this.
Yeah, looks like there's water on the back side of that.
Well, if there is, maybe they're going out on here bedding with water at their back.
Right. Yep. That's where a lot of these trails are going. I don't see any stands up in there, so that's a good sign. This is like that SpongeBob meme. It's like, or Rick and Morty. It's like, hey, you want to go scouting on the coldest day of the year? You son of a bitch, I'm in. Pulls a sucker from his mouth. This is an old rub. There's a lot of trails coming out. It's a lot drier in the fall too. Well, maybe not if it's a beaver dam.
Gotta get dry up here, don't it?
Yeah, I think up by these big trees. Whoa.
Yeah, you can hang newspaper on that tree.
Yeah. Looks pretty wet down in there. It's probably gonna be the same thing as we found out there. Is a whole lot of nothing with wetness. There are quite a few trails though going into it, you know.
Just like that down there.
I wonder if it's just because it's snowy, there's a lot of water, you just can't see where they're going, where they're
We
bedding.
had rain last week.
Yeah, 2 days of rain.
Yeah, that might all be bone dry in the summer.
Right. I'm just surprised there's not more buck sign out here. There's definitely, this trail we're on is definitely a good trail on this edge. We're on our way back. Let's get our feet wet. Couple little rubs coming in here. The thing is, dude, you got to believe that there's deer back here because we saw a lot more sign of people up front.
Yeah, you know they're getting pushed into here.
I mean, there's another little rub right there. There's another little wolf rub over there.
It might get higher right there, it looks like. Another rub.
Yep. I know the polar vortex can stop anytime. I feel like one of these trees is gonna snap right off on us. Holy crap. That looks like a bed, don't it? Might just be a high spot in the runway. I mean, this looks good though. I mean,
This does.
yeah, it's semi-open, but it's still surrounded by a lot of thick stuff.
I would definitely think you'd see a buck in here before you would out there.
Right, for sure. You know, because everything around them is pretty high and dry, but the trails are so full of water. Probably getting used quite a bit.
I think you'd be right anywhere in this.
Yeah, and it's at least open enough you got in, you could see far enough to find where they're at. I'm gonna use the little weed bridge. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I went in too.
By now.
Right.
Yeah, see, we could have stayed out on that.
Josh, we like going into the thick shit. You know that. We like fighting through all the mud. They could be, because there's a little rub out there on that trailer. They could be anywhere out there. Little one, yeah. A couple little ones out there too. But you never know. They were little this year and they made it. They could be big this year, or little last year and they made it. They could be big this year.
Yeah.
A couple more. This trail we're on, I feel like it's kind of a main vein all the way through the middle of this. Pretty much set up in any of these trees and probably have a shot at something.
I might have jumped one.
Oh yeah.
Or it's from this morning.
No, right there. Right there. That's definitely fresh. Something definitely came through here. Went out that way. Yep. Let's check the map. That looks pretty nasty.
That's the closest spot to get out the high ground.
Let me check the map real quick.
Just thinking if we hug this side and come down here. So that's where here's where that ladder stand is.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess we might as well hit that point right there. Yeah, we might as well hit that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Best one we found. Well, second best. It's a pretty good sized tree. Coming right out of this trail here, going back in. That's what I mean. I mean, you know, there's bucks here. It's just where.
Looks like huge trails crossing right in here.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like that group of trees right there would be a good one. Any of them in here, really, yeah. Get up in that guy right there. Yeah, you'd almost have to stage hunt this just
Right in here.
before you blew right in. I mean, there's many trails that are crossing in here. You could start out over here and then gradually move in. Yeah, so this is where it opens up. I mean, if you hunted anywhere in here right at the pinch, you know, that main trail coming off the center of that point, they're gonna come by you. This must be that popple stand that we were by, that ladder stand like you were saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, like right here is a nice trail coming out of that tag alder stuff, you know. There's a good one running right along this. I know you could kill a deer out here, just the type of bucks is the only question. But it might be worth throwing a camera at and seeing what happens.
I mean, that's a big ass section of shit, basically.
Yeah. Time flies when you're scouting fun.
So yeah, they gotta be going out to that shit to bed.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, I think they're bedding out there in that tag alder stuff, and then they're coming down that point, going out to.
I wonder if it's that deer we jumped.
That's pretty fresh, ain't it?
Going out, yeah. I mean, we would have jumped him right back in there.
Yeah. I want to see that deer that made the track that we found up front.
Yeah,
Looks like people to me. Yeah, we can head back this way and
try to loop around.
never know what you might find. Overlooked spot or something. You wanted to dive in, follow that trail, didn't you? I could tell. I thought the same thing.
It probably cuts right over that. I mean, that's where we're trying to get anyway.
Right.
It should be that line of trees.
Yep.
You might want to follow that.
Let's follow it. Stay away from people anyway. Find one of those spots where the buck's bedded right next to the parking lot.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Rub.
Little rub. Huh?
There's a deer right down in here.
We're laying down or standing?
Just walking. Right in here. Just seen it last one.
I don't see it.
See that little tree that goes like that?
I mean, I see. Oh, yeah, I see it.
See its head?
Yep. I don't think I can get it on the camera though.
No, there's so much shit.
Yep, I see it standing right back in there.
It's probably the one we jumped back there.
It probably is, yeah. Or we might find a bed, you know.
Let's go see.
Now's the time to bump them out. This might be that overlooked spot, you never know.
See its head looking at me.
Can you see it?
Over the right one. There's a light spot right there.
Yeah. Yep. It's hard to point out, but
You'd never get this one.
no, deer season, that deer would be gone. Oh, I can see it pretty good right there, right in the middle of the screen. See its head turn? It's hard to see in the camera, but yeah, they blend in. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I think it was a fawn. Little tiny baby rub.
More of them here.
Yeah, that's definitely a different deer. It's a pretty good shot. I'd like to find their beds in here, you know?
Coyote or fox shark.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a coyote. Yeah, that's definitely a coyote. It's like a wall in here. So we just come out of that thick stuff into this little open popple area. Nice little set like somebody's been here. Don't like it? Pretty much a wall of tag alders around here.
Back up on the other side though. It looks like somebody's come through there.
Based on these snapped off limbs and stuff, yeah. Yup. Telltale sign right there. Somebody's been back here. Ugh. Josh, I think we missed our calling.
What's that?
We should have been acrobats.
Yeah. I don't fall real gracefully though.
No. I don't fall often, but when I do, it's good. Or bad, depending on how you look at it.
The oaks up there, it's gotta be dry. Nice to have this trail.
Yeah.
Sneak right into that. It's gotta be more open road than oaks on these things. Either that or it's clear cut.
Right. That's definitely big hardwoods over there.
You gotta set cut that way though.
Yeah.
Get all that water out there.
Ooh. Yeah, let's go this way. I think we pretty much covered all the spots we wanted to check out anyway.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, out of the 10 spots we might look at, hopefully we find one. Well,
Right.
this ain't one of them.
Almost looks like they had a... I was just gonna say, it almost looks like they had a quad back here.
Good old Bud Light can.
Yeah. Number 36 with a homemade pipe bomb battery. Well, he's got us on 2 of his cameras now, so
He definitely likes this area.
he likes this area. But I still think where we were out there is a better spot.
The only thing would be is if you got a, really season a buck on camera out here, you gotta almost expect he's gonna be coming out of there.
Yeah, for sure. That's out of this whole place that we've walked. There's probably 2 spots I would hunt, and there wasn't even any buck sign in those spots. I'm glad we stopped and ate before we came out.
I kind of had a feeling. Fuck, when you go into these, especially a piece like this that's so big,
Right.
you don't know how long it's gonna take.
No, this is. I don't know what this specific section is or whatever, but I know this whole chunk
Huge.
is like 65,000 acres.
Yeah, it's huge.
So we were at 3 hours covering what we thought was a marsh, basically.
Say we were out of state though, the thing to do would be to split up.
Yeah, for sure.
So in 3 hours, we could cover literally 6 or 7 miles.
Right. Well, Josh, what did we end up with?
3.96 miles, 3 hours.
At 1.3 mile per hour. We're a couple of fatties.
Of nothingness.
Would you hunt it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Unless I had like camera confirmation or something.
Yeah, I think that point out there with all them trails crossing it and that main trail going down the middle, I think it might be worth putting a camera out there just to see, because there's no stands or tacks or anything out there. And that was pretty much the best sign we found.
Yeah. We basically did a big giant loop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we thought this all right here was all marsh, but it was actually wet or dry like that. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. I call it sagebrush because that's what it looks like to me, but
It's almost like a bog.
like a bog. Yeah, it ended up being pretty dry. But there's a ton of trails out there. That's out where that tripod was. I think that where that tripod was would be a good spot too. That's the other spot that if I were to put a camera out, that's the only spot we found beds.
Yeah, I don't think I'd waste my time again.
Lots
It's
of
so a
walking.
lot of ground it's
Yeah,
to cover.
there's definitely small buck sign. I mean, lots of small rubs and
Like you said, we probably should have pushed over the edge of that private a little farther.
over by the crops. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of walking to figure out nothing, but we can at least check it off the list.
Yeah.
How long
so
have you
anyway,
had-
you know,
How long have you had that?
I don't know, a couple of years I wanted to go back in there.
Yeah, well, at least now we know.
On to the next one.
But it's hard because the couple pockets of good oak trees, you know.
Well, the hard part is you look at it on a map and you would think that it's like marsh.
Right,
I mean, you can see the water on the map,
right.
but it's not.
And that's pretty much, I guess, the main takeaway was we were trying to focus on somewhere by water.
And there's a 4-wheeler trail that drives halfway back there that we didn't know about.
Yeah, we come across that on the way out. And that second camera.
We'll go see what we can see for the last hour of daylight.
Yeah. It was worth a walk anyway. On to the next one. Never some
Another bigger deer.
big deer.
That one on the left, that's a dark fucker there too.
That is a big deer right there.
Them are all some stocky deer.
Yeah, they are a good size, all of them. This is right.
Where we seen them earlier.
this is exactly right here is where we seen them earlier.
Yeah.
In that thick stuff.
These are the deer we probably see. It's the same group of deer we probably seen.
That I'm telling you, that deer right there is a big.
That dark one?
Yeah. That is a big deer. Yeah, because I remember that little ball.
Oh, that's the balloon effect.
That's the balloon. We found the balloon. That's the bedding area right there. I wonder if they plant that in the fall with like
It's probably
wheat, you think?
No, it's probably a hayfield.
Alfalfa? Yeah, but you know, I'm like to the point where I want to more focus on killing a big buck.
Yeah.
Obviously,
for sure.
I want to put out stuff that helps people kill deer in general because there's, you know, that's one thing that I have a hard time with because the craze is obviously mobile hunting and public land hunting, but a lot of people just can't do it. You know, a lot of people can't go spend $1,000 on a setup and then go spend, you know, we just spent 3.5 hours scouting one piece. You know, a lot of people can't do that.
No.
Physically, financially, whatever, you know, but
Time's the main thing.
time is the biggest thing. But I mean, I just want to find a buck, stake out, you know, figure him out and stake him out and kill him.
We need to find them.
You know, because I know
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5 would be
We're
nice.
out there and see what's in these fields.
Have some options. Because like I said, I know I can go out and kill deer, you know, just to have meat. But I'm trying to have a bigger taxidermy bill.
That's always the idea.
Right.
That's always the plan.
Oh yeah. Bunch of them in that corn. Yep. This is what we need to do, you know, late August, September, is ride around and see what's out there. Button up some of these pieces. So that big bog is right behind this trailer somewhere where we were walking, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we were right back in there.
Yeah, because that's that power line that we saw. This would be a good spot, I think. Catch them coming across. There's a lot of trails going into this field.
I mean, you gotta imagine all these deer around here start getting pressure in deer season. That's the biggest piece right there with no roads through it.
Right.
Boy, do they get pressure.
Yeah, I mean, there's box blinds like crazy around here.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that trail cam ban?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. You think it's because of privacy?
That's what they claim.
See, I haven't even read anything about it. I just seen a couple things on Facebook about it, but I didn't really look much into it.
I don't know. I mean, you're not gonna kill a deer just because you got a picture of it.
No, you're not gonna. I don't think it's an unfair advantage. I mean,
It's not
obviously,
like you can just run out and shoot the deer rather than stand up in front of the camera.
right. No, I mean the deer still has the advantage no matter what. I think that obviously if you're using it like that, wasn't it that one guy got a bunch of shit online last year because he was saw it on, he got a picture of it, and then he went out and killed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably on his own private property,
Right,
right out back of his house.
right.
Because nobody else is going to kill that deer anyway like that.
And not only that, that's exactly what happened to me last year. Got a picture of a buck and went back. Buck was still hanging around and
Yeah.
killed him. And I don't think that, I mean, obviously if he was spooked in any way, he would have been gone. So, I don't know, the privacy thing, I just think it's bullshit. It's public land. Like I said before, you can go out and use someone else's tree stand if it's up without their permission, so there's no privacy with that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like you said, that I don't think you should be able to go into a national forest on a campground and hang cell cameras on somebody's lot. But
Yeah, no, for sure. But I think that's where they could do something different.
a camera hanging out in the middle of the woods is doing nothing but taking pictures of wildlife.
Of wildlife,
I mean, unless
right.
you walk in front of it,
Right. If you're a
which
peep-
we did a couple times today.
Yeah, we did. But if you're some peeping Tom that's trying to get pictures at a campsite, that there should be some sort of rules written for specifically in a public ground. Public hunting ground is different than a public area like a campground.
Right.
You know. Yeah, I just think that it's just that it's like banning ARs. Like it's a stepping stone to more
Yeah,
restrictions.
that's what a lot of
and,
people don't like.
you know, it's just
more overreach.
Right, more overreach. I just think it, you know,
Where will it end?
where will it end exactly?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard to ban cameras with as big as they are nowadays. People will have a fit. The next thing is, how do you enforce it?
How do you
The
enforce
two
it?
DNR
Yeah.
officers in a county going to go out and patrol for cameras every day?
Right. Yeah, I mean it's bad. Like, when did they do the bait ban here in Michigan? Like 4 or 5 years ago now, something like that. And there's guys baiting every freaking day, you know. And
Yeah, they can't stop
They
it.
can't. It's just like any other criminal activity, quote unquote. You know, that they can ban it all they want, but enforcing it is a different thing. And the part I think is shitty too is that they ban something like cell cams, and there's already, like here in Michigan, our hunter numbers just from 2021 are down, like, I don't remember what it was, like 40 or 50,000 hunters as far as licenses sold or something like that. And it's like, just for me, it's like, what are they trying to kill hunting? Are they, you know, hunter recruitment and getting people involved?
Well, I'm sure they want license sales up.
Yeah, you know they want their money, but I don't know, it's an ass backwards way to go about it, I guess. And then, I know we're talking about Kansas, but you know, it's kind of like weed.
There's other
It started out in
other
Colorado.
states that have done it.
Yeah, I think
I know
Idaho,
Missouri, it's not legal on public land.
Missouri, it's not. I want to say like Idaho.
That'd be another thing, is if
Something.
they say, okay, you can't use them on public land. That'd be something I could see too. That's how Missouri is. So you can use them on private land.
Right, and I think that's the same thing that Kansas just did.
Yeah, I believe
You
so.
can't do it
I don't
on
know. I'd
public.
have to look into it more, but
Yeah,
I don't know if it's private too. I can't imagine they could get that carried away. I
right.
don't think they can stop it.
But even still, I mean, just I don't even have
Yeah,
to.
what are you gonna have neighbors calling in on you now because they see
Right.
your cell cam on a tree?
Right. And how would they know that, you know, without trespassing, if it is for private land?
They got their
Yeah.
tree stand 10 yards off the line.
Yeah. I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think it's helping anything, especially with some lame ass excuse like privacy. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what else they could use other than to say it's unfair to
Right.
the animals.
and that was what first came to my mind.
Yeah.
Was it being an unfair advantage to take a deer, you know? But again, I think the odds are always in the deer's favor, you know, aside from a spotlight
Yeah.
and a rifle, you know.
Right.
I don't know. see what happens, but it's just like, it's like a disease, man. Once it starts, it spreads.
It's got like COVID.
Yeah, it spreads like fake COVID. Yeah, we'll see. But I'm putting them out. Did you see the harvest reports for Michigan?
Not lately, no.
So there was like 303,000 deer that were recorded, and like 56% of them were bucks. It's like 172,000 bucks and 131,000 does.
How many licenses?
586,000, I think, something like that.
Just see them do a breakdown. 8 points, 6 points.
Right.
Shot.
Like,
I
yeah,
haven't seen anything like that yet. No.
8 points, 4 points.
Yeah. How
Right.
many of them are 8 point and better?
Right.
I'd be curious to know.
I'm just curious
Did
to
you
know.
say 56% for bucks?
56%, yeah. And that doesn't even factor in the button bucks that got killed as does, you know.
Right.
So I don't know, I just think it's kind of a crazy statistic for me, because like everybody bitches about the deer hunting here, you know, as far as, oh, there's no big bucks and this and that, but you know, most of them bucks were 1.5 year old deer,
Oh yeah, probably.
you know.
I don't get why they wouldn't put that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Be granted, you're not going to open 8 points at 2-year-old or 1.5 years, but it's a little better idea. Like,
Right. Because you know that every spike in 4 point, or most,
that's what I'm wondering.
those are
Out
all
of that
1.5 years.
56%, 80% of them are 6 point and under.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, so,
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of a crazy, you know, because obviously there's more does here than bucks, but there's more bucks killed than does. I don't know, I just think that it kind of shows that more does need to be killed.
I mean, I would definitely think there's a lot more does around than bucks
Right.
in this area.
Yeah, I mean, every field you drive by in the fall, there might be 20 deer, but you might see 1 buck. You know what I mean? In most areas.
Yeah, in most, I mean, there's some areas though that it ain't that far off, I don't think.
Yeah, probably your southern parts of Michigan and whatnot, but I don't know, I guess it's just that old school mentality of, oh, if I kill a doe, I'm killing, you know, 3 deer or whatever. It's just kind of I just
Yeah.
think that proves a point, like, that all those bucks that were killed could have bred 5 or 6 does, which ultimately killed 15 or 20 deer instead of, you know,
Yeah.
3 or 4 for killing a doe. You know,
That's a hard one.
what's that?
That's a hard one, that whole argument.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to tell people what to shoot.
Well, right, yeah, you can't. I'm not saying you just tell people what to shoot, but I'm saying, like, the guys that are out, oh, I gotta fill my freezer, then they let 5 or 6 does walk
Yeah.
by to get the spike.
I mean, I think
You
it's
know?
better now than it's ever been around here as far as people letting shit go.
Yeah,
It could be a lot better.
I definitely think that it's caught on more as far as, oh, if I let this deer go, he might get
Yeah,
bigger.
for sure. I think that's happened everywhere.
Yeah.
The next step's a hard one though.
What's
Trying
that?
to let everybody goes for 8 point or better or whatever, but trying to let a 3-year-old go is a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
Or even a big 2-year-old
Yeah.
around here. I mean, they're getting killed.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm, you know, I guess it all depends, like, how your season's going, you know, where you're hunting, if you're hunting private or public.
And you get excited and you shoot a
Right.
100-inch 8 point.
That was the funnest hunt that I've probably ever been on, you know. At least one of the funnest hunts. I mean,
No, I'm gonna wait. Hell,
that hunt that was one of the most viewed hunts on the channel, you know. That was that was a super cool hunt. But that, you know, you went in saying, I'm not shooting a if it's not a nice one, I ain't shooting it, because we're a mile and a half back.
When it takes 5 hours to get it out.
You're right, it took us 5 hours to get it out, but we didn't go in there and shoot spike, basically, is the point, you know. I don't know, I just think that statistics and stuff, the reporting, I don't know, hopefully it helps.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first year anybody gets to actually see it, so
Right.
who knows where it goes from there.
But I still think that more does need to be killed, myself.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
to balance the ratio, if anything.
Yeah, a lot of the thing is, a lot of people don't need 3 deer, you know. Everybody
Right.
wants to kill a buck. Everybody
Right.
wants to kill a buck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some families might not even eat a deer a year, you know.
Right, and that's the main goal, obviously, for everybody, is to shoot a buck. But if you don't put the time in to kill one, I just feel like I don't know. It's hard. It's like any hot topic issue, like, you know.
Yeah, it is.
It's ultimately up to the choice of the person that bought the tag, but the problem I have is that person is the one bitching in the group of guys at work that they don't see any big bucks, or, you know,
usually
they don't kill any does, you know, that they'll shoot the first 4-point they see. I just think that given that that 56% of the deer killed here last year were bucks, I think that Michigan has the potential to be a fucking big buck state, just like any other Midwest state.
Yeah, I don't know what the best way to do. 1 buck.
1 buck or APRs. I guess that'd be the next question. What are your thoughts on that?
People get butt hurt. I don't know.
Everybody gets
I'm all
butthurt about
for
something.
it, but I hate to speak for everybody. So see if we got any deer out back.
Yeah, let's go see if we got any deer.